Welcome to another episode of One More Game, the podcast for all things pickleball. I'm your host, Matt Brandenberger, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and wife, Abby Brandenberger.
Hello.
We're a couple who are absolutely obsessed with the sport of pickleball. In fact, we love pickleball almost as much as we love each other.
Aww.
And that's why, and that's really saying something. We started this podcast as a way to share our passion for pickleball and with the rest of the world and to connect with other pickleball enthusiasts. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started in the sport, we think you'll find something to enjoy in this episode. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the wonderful world of pickleball. Did that sound a little off?
It sounds amazing. You sounded like such a professional.
Did I? Okay. So here's the deal.
Okay.
That was a little intro.
So, for the record, I know none of this. Like,
right.
this is like...
Yeah, this is brand new.
This is a surprise kind of episode for me, too.
Yeah. I kind of came up with this idea and I said, hey, I want to do this episode that's going to be all about AI and ChatGPT specifically. And you're like, go for it. So that intro, full disclosure, was written by ChatGPT.
No way.
So all I did was,
good.
I went to ChatGPT, and maybe we should start by kind of
seriously, for the people like me, what is ChatGPT?
And honestly, up until a month ago, I heard some guys talking about it about a month ago, actually at our Bible study, just about how revolutionary this was. And I'm like, I'm in the technology world and I really haven't heard of this. But really, think of ChatGPT as almost like, it's like the new internet. I really think we're on the dawn of, we'll look back and we'll be like, oh my gosh, remember when this like first started and people were kind of like scared of it? In the education world, there's a lot of discussion around it because essentially you can ask it to do something for you. So here's a perfect example. So ChatGPT, it's part of a website called OpenAI, and it's artificial intelligence, AI, and you ask it to do something and it will pull in like tons of resources to compile whatever it is you're looking for. So somebody asked me to write a letter of recommendation recently, and I was like, I'm going to try ChatGPT for this. So I wrote.
So do you go to like chatgpt.com?
Yep.
I don't even know what you're. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it takes you to, if you just type in a Google search for ChatGPT, then it will take you to their website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost like a Google, where then you type in what you're looking for.
Yeah. And so, so this is think about, so I typed in, write a letter of recommendation for someone looking for a job at a local university teaching technology. And it wrote pretty much a perfect one-page letter of recommendation. I had to make a few tweaks to it, add in the person's name, and it was good to go. So kids are using this now. Write a term paper. It's crazy. And you're going to see in this episode, this is going to be a lot of fun, just how smart it is, yet it's still artificial intelligence. It's not human intelligence. So there are limitations to it. And so we have to use our God-given brains as well, incorporated with it. But it does make life a lot easier, a lot like the internet did back in 1994. I just saw a video recently. It was from the Today Show when Katie Couric and Bryant Gumbel were like first introduced to the internet. And they're like, what is internet?
What is internet? Do you remember that movie, the Sandra Bullock movie that came out called
The Web or something?
The Net.
The Net. Oh, yeah.
And it was like so beginning. I mean, it was hilarious.
Yeah. So same thing. I really feel like this is like the dawn of a new era where we're just on the cusp of this.
You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. I'll link that that Katie Couric video. I'll link that in the show notes because it is really funny because he's even reading like their brand new. It's like NBC at something.net, and he doesn't even put the periods or the dots in there.
Yeah.
He's just like, so this is how you contact us. Or
that's hilarious.
They're like confused by the whole thing. It's really, really funny.
That's crazy.
We've got a busy episode. Is there anything you want to talk about?
This is so interesting. So I actually saw this article yesterday because I knew what our topic was today, but again, Matt kind of ran with this one. So I don't know what it's about, but I saw this article on this doctor diagnosing like 50 patients with ChatGPT.
Oh, really?
And like his point was it's a good tool,
Yep.
but it actually would have misdiagnosed about 50% of his patients because it didn't know to ask further questions. So like it would have missed this one lady's ectopic pregnancy. She had abdominal pain, elevated whatever, and it was like ruptured or, appendicitis, while he then asked further questions.
Sure.
And so
kind of like I was saying, right?
Exactly what he was saying. A good tool for some basics,
Absolutely.
but then you need to be able to.
So at this point in human history, we cannot replace the human brain, but we can make things easier. That's kind of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through several questions that I asked ChatGPT related to pickleball, related to our podcast, and kind of just show you kind of how cool it is. So the first one I said is write an outline for a pickleball podcast for those who love pickleball but life be crazy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so here's the outline. So this was more of like for, the entirety of a podcast, not just like one episode. So there's introduction, introduce the purpose of the podcast, explain the target audience, provide a brief background about the host. The major topics then, pickleball news and updates, pickleball tips and tricks, pickleball equipment and gear, pickleball interviews, pickleball lifestyle, which is funny because a lot of these things we have done.
We've done that.
Yeah, and we did a lot of work trying to figure out what to do. We should have just gone to ChatGPT.
It wasn't invented yet.
Right. It wasn't back in November. Actually, it was. We just
we didn't know about it.
Right. And then the conclusion, recap the main points, preview the next episode, and encourage listeners to submit feedback, questions, and suggestions.
I mean, what are we doing here? We should just chat GPT.
GPT. You better learn it before you. Yeah. So I love that. I thought that was kind of cool. So when we need some ideas, we're going to go to ChatGPT for sure.
I'm excited to not have to use my brain much anymore.
Or less.
Less.
So the next one I asked was list 5 reasons why pickleball is the worst sport. Because there's been a lot of hate out there for pickleball lately. So I'm like, okay, what does ChatGPT have to say about it? I love this answer. It says, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, it goes against my programming to provide biased or negative opinions towards a particular sport or activity. And then it goes on to like kind of explain, that it can't really give me that. So I reworded it and I tried it again. I said, okay, give 5 reasons why pickleball should be banned in parks. Because a lot of people are calling for bans because of some various reasons. So here's the ones that it gave. Number 1 was noise pollution. Pickleball can be a noisy sport with the sound of the paddles hitting the ball echoing through the park. If the park is a residential area, this noise could be disruptive to neighbors and lead to complaints. Safety concerns. Parks are often used by children and families, and fast-moving pickleball could pose a safety hazard. I don't think so.
It's a wiffle ball, guys.
Overcrowding could be an issue.
Go ahead. I actually did read one of the plethora of articles I've read about pickleball, but there is a park somewhere where the adults waiting to play pickleball became so many that it was crowding the children out of the park.
They were taking over the swing sets.
Kind of cracked me up. Like I was picturing like adults just meandering among the slides.
Or like on the merry-go-round.
Like sadly, have you just waiting to play pickleball,
holding their paddle.
Anyway.
That's funny. So overcrowding could be an option. Damage to the park. Pickleball courts can require specialized surfaces and equipment, which could cause damage to the park's existing infrastructure. I don't know
what that means.
I don't know. Exclusive use. If pickleball courts are added to a park, it could create an exclusive space that only appeals to a certain demographic of park users. So definitely some things. The number 1 on there was noise pollution, and that's probably the number 1 thing that pickleball does get.
I'd say the first. I'd say noise pollution and overcrowding is actually legit. Exclusive use, though, number 5 kind of cracks me up. This could lead to social exclusion and reduction of the park's overall inclusivity and accessibility. And we're here to say that pickleball's for everyone. I mean, haven't we always said that?
Absolutely.
Every age, every size, whatever. There's a place in pickleball for you.
For sure.
So.
Okay. How about this next one? Generate a list of the top 5 pickleball players and what makes them uniquely great. And so what you're going to see from this list, I think, is that the information that it pulls when it comes up with something like this is a little outdated. So number 1 is Ben Johns, which I think people would still, widely regard him as the best pickleball player in the world, as it says right here. He's known for his athleticism, versatility, and ability to make quick adjustments on the court. He's won numerous gold medals in both singles and doubles competitions, and especially known for his dominant play at the net. Pretty fair.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Well-rounded game he has. So then number 2 is Simone. So again, I would say she, in the last couple of years, has kind of fallen off the
That is weird. This
ranks.
wouldn't be super updated. You'd think it would be.
And I remember reading a little bit about it, and I didn't do a whole lot of research on ChatGPT, so maybe we'll depend on some of our listeners out there who can kind of give us some more feedback on that. But my understanding of it is it pulls from databases and information that's not like super current. That might be a year or two
That's
old,
interesting.
which would make
that
a
would
lot
make
of
sense because there's somebody else who should be number 2.
For sure, who's not even on the list.
Who's not even on this list.
Right, and we would agree.
Anna Lee.
Would be Anna Lee, and she's not on this list.
Which is so interesting.
Simone's 2, Kyle Yates is 3. Again, somebody who was dominant several years ago. But it's kind of fallen off a little bit. Lucy Kovalova, again, solid player, but would not regard her as one of the top. And then Abby's boy Tyson is number 5, and I would agree. He should be up there. What does it say about him? A fierce competitor on the court, which is very accurate. That's how I would describe him as well. Known for his explosive power, aggressive play, and never say die attitude. It says basically the same thing for all these players. Won multiple gold medals in both singles and doubles competitions, so it's kind of repetitive when it says that.
And especially known for blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Then it does say at the bottom, it says, it's worth noting that the rankings and titles of players can change over time, as pickleball is a rapidly growing sport with new talent emerging all the time. So it kind of gives a disclaimer that this might not be all the way up to date. All right, next one I think is a lot of fun as well. So I asked it, I think the first thing that I asked it was, like, as an intermediate player, what should I work on? So then I went back and said, well, I'm going to ask it all kind of levels. I'm going to first ask it as a beginning player.
Okay.
What should I be working on to improve my pickleball game? Then I'm going to ask it as an intermediate player, and then as an advanced player. So this one's going to take a little bit of digging into. So let's take a quick break right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and we'll kind of get into what ChatGPT says you should be working on to improve your pickleball game. All right, we'll be right back.
Between the two of us, we've had 7 orthopedic surgeries, 4 cortisone injections, and countless injuries that have required physical therapy, and we are only in our early 40s. So where do we go when we need physical therapy? Indiana Physical Therapy.
That's right, Abby. With 22 locations in Fort Wayne and the surrounding counties, Indiana Physical Therapy will be there to get you back to work, play, and life.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
Visit indianapt.com for more information. All right, welcome back to one more game. Thanks always to our sponsors. We do appreciate all of our sponsors and appreciate all of you who listen every week. So, talking ChatGPT. Don't ask me what GPT stands for. I really don't know. I should have maybe researched that. But again, that's artificial intelligence and how we can use it now in so many ways. And so obviously, when I heard about this, pickleball came to mind and wanted to see how can we use it for our podcast and how can we use it for a pickleball game. So this part, we're talking about how can we use it to improve our pickleball game. First of all, for the beginner, and I love this, so it gives 6 different things. The first one is focus on your footwork, which I thought was very interesting because when we teach beginners, that's not necessarily one of the things that we really focus on, but I do like that. I mean, it's a fundamental thing to work on good footwork. I guess when we do work with beginners of doing their split step and as they're moving up, hitting their third shot drops, we do talk about doing split steps, and I even said it last Saturday when we were doing a clinic. I said, do as I say, not as I do, because my footwork is not great. But as a foundational, fundamental thing, I think that is a good thing to focus on.
Yeah, actually, this is interesting. It says, make sure you're staying light on your feet, using small steps to quickly move around the court. And I know that sounds simple, but would you believe that I did not know that? And in fact, somebody told me that probably 3 or 4 months ago to use small steps to get to where I needed to be. And I didn't know. I mean, coming from no paddle or racket sports, really taking small steps to position my body to where I wanted it to
Interesting.
be.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that sounds no duh, but it was not to me.
Yeah.
So
Not necessarily. And the second part of that says, with the weight on the balls of
Yeah.
your feet. I mean, that's just an
I knew
athletic
that.
position.
I knew the weight on the balls of my feet, but I didn't think about small step positioning.
Yeah.
I would just,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of moving.
It was just a good thought for me to have that
Yeah.
I didn't have before.
I like that. Practice your serve. Serve is one of the most important shots in pickleball. Would agree with that. Work on your dinks. Dinking is a crucial aspect of pickleball and can be very challenging for beginners. Focus on getting the ball over the net with a soft touch and try to place it in a spot where your opponent will have a difficult time returning it. I think that's great. That's one of the best
Right.
things beginners can work on for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of beginners aren't dinking.
Right? They're just wanting to blast it.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one. Play with a variety of partners. Playing with different people will help you improve your game in a variety of ways. You'll get to different playing styles. You get used to different playing styles, develop your communication skills, and learn how to adapt your game to different opponents.
I mean, let me just pipe in here. That's not even beginners. I mean, how often,
Yeah,
somebody, we're more advanced than beginners.
sure.
And it's very beneficial for us to play against different styles.
Variety of styles, yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of these overlap.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But good advice for
But
beginners.
that is good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch and learn. I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Watch videos of professional pickleball players to see how they move, position themselves, and hit shots. Pay attention to their footwork, shot selection, strategy, and try to incorporate what you see into your own game. Yeah,
I think that is highly underrated.
Yeah.
I think watching somebody and mimicking it is the best way to learn in a lot of areas.
yeah.
Just-
And those that watch a lot, I think there's a correlation. I can think of several people who kind of came into the sport at the same time I did who are obsessed with it as much as I am. And so they watch a lot of videos either of themselves or of professionals playing. And that's highly underrated. I agree. Keep practicing like any sport.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, that just makes sense. The more you practice, and in pickleball we call that drilling. And so taking the time to drill is also really important. All right. So how about an intermediate player? How does this this list contrast to the beginning? You see right off the
Yeah.
bat, it says consistency.
Yeah.
Work on hitting the ball consistently, whether it's a serve, return, or volleyball.
Volleyball.
Or a volleyball. If you're playing with a volleyball, you might have an issue. You might be a beginner. Focus on keeping the ball in play and avoid making unforced errors. And I'd say that goes for all levels,
Oh,
but
goodness. Yeah.
you get to that intermediate spot, and that's what kind of separates the intermediate player from the advanced player is, the consistency. The pros make very few unforced errors. When they do, it's after a long rally, whereas unforced errors come a lot more quickly for the intermediate players. Footwork's also on there. Strategy talks about developing a game plan and sticking to it. So you're kind of, thinking through a little bit more. You're not just hitting shots to hit shots. Talks about improving your serve. Try different types of serve, such as a lob serve or a spin serve, to keep your opponents guessing. I think that's good. So you're kind of starting to incorporate some different types of serves as not just a serve to get it in play and start the point, but you're starting to get a little bit more aggressive with those. Volleys, practice your volleys to become more comfortable at the net. Work on hitting volleys with different speeds and angles and practice your overhead smash. I think that's good too.
That's good when I see my beginner clinic and they're all trying to back it up to take it off the bounce, and they're being pushed so far back into the transition zone. So teaching them to hold your line and take it out of the air it's harder to get to that point, but that's going to make you better.
The last two on this list are communication and fitness. Again, both really important. Communication with your partner as you start to, if you're an intermediate player and you're starting to play in some tournaments, you've got to be communicating well so that you know what your opponent's doing and you're not having those miscues, which are inevitable to some extent. But the more you communicate, the less that happens.
In fitness, hey, those long rallies can take it out of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you get to beyond the beginner level, there's definitely, you're going to have a hard time competing at the intermediate level. And I would call it intermediate in the 4.0, 4.5 range, somewhere in there, maybe even.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would say intermediate's more like 3.5, 4.0.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't know,
in
though.
that range.
Yeah.
But I would say you're going to have a hard time competing much past that if you can't move around the court very well. So
Right.
being in good shape and injury prevention, as we've talked about on some recent episodes as well. And then lastly, isn't this amazing, just to pause for a second, that it can generate these lists?
Yeah.
Like just asking a simple question, and this isn't like 10 minutes later I go back. It's like you ask the question and you see it
just-
like generating the text. So
Interesting.
I should share this document. You think that would be a good idea
Yeah,
when we're done?
that's
Just
good.
so people
See
can
if you
kind of
can
see
fi-
this.
Yeah, see if you can figure out how to parent.
Okay.
Not you, me.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
mean you aggressively.
How I can parent you?
Just oh,
How do I parent my wife? ChatGPT. I would love to see its answer.
yes, put that in. But
Okay.
also how we can parent our children.
Oh,
I would
okay.
love it to know its
you need
suggestions.
you need some help. Okay.
I need some help.
Yeah. Then I said, as an advanced player, what should I be working on to improve my pickleball game? And
It's kind of obsessed with the serve here.
it really is.
Mastering your
Yeah,
serve
That's
now.
number one.
You should have mastered it already.
Yeah, I don't know. But
You don't think so?
I mean, I think that advanced player, the serve is a weapon for most
Okay.
of your pros and most of your high
Okay.
players. They've got, a serve that they can pull out. Most recently, I've gotten you on a serve a couple times that you're not real thrilled about. Do we need to unpack that now? No, we're having a good show. We don't need to fight.
You tried to run me into a fence.
I did not try to run you into the fence.
You did.
The fence just happened to be there.
Okay.
Anyways, but yeah, trying to, we had the spin serve in play until the end of last year. So I'm constantly playing with my serve to try to figure out
Yeah.
how I can get, an advantage. Because if you can start the point off and put your opponents at a disadvantage, you're going to be in good shape for the rest of the point. So it's that fine line, though. You don't want to miss a serve also, but you want to push it enough to disrupt your opponent. So improve your footwork is on there, enhance your shot selection, refine your strategy, practice your net game, improve your mental game. Now this one I thought was really
Ooh,
interesting
yeah.
because it didn't talk about mental game in any of the
Until
other.
this level.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
the mental aspect of pickleball, it says, is just as important as the physical. Work on developing a positive mindset and the ability to stay focused and composed even when under pressure. Work on developing a pre-shot routine that helps you to stay focused and calm. I love that. I mean, I think that is spot on in terms of that positive mind frame, which is something I could learn from. I get down on myself, and I know that frustrates you sometimes because I let that seep into my play then. And that whole quote that I've said before, let your play dictate your shots. How do I say that again? I forget
I
that quote.
forget.
But basically, don't let your attitude affect how you play.
Right.
Let your play affect your attitude. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that one up again. But it was a
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy quote. I think I've said that before. But I just love that idea of making sure you're not hurting yourself by being negative. So
Right. That you are in control mentally the whole time.
Yep. And then it says, the last part, overall, the key to improving your pickleball game is in advanced players to focus on refining your existing skills and adding new shots and strategies to your repertoire. Keep practicing and seek out opportunities to play against skilled opponents to test and improve your game. So playing against the best is how you're going to get better. And just refining those skills. That didn't
Yeah.
use the word consistency there, but at the advanced level, consistency is king for sure. So good. You like those?
Yeah,
You
that's
feel like
good.
those were helpful?
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of those, but it was interesting to see what ChatGPT said. Let's move into the realm of equipment. I asked ChatGPT, what are the best pickleball paddles to purchase for those who want to take their game to the next level? Here's how it responded. There are many high-quality paddles available on the market today, and the best paddle for you will depend on your personal preferences and playing style. Here are some factors to consider, and it gave the factors of weight, of material, of grip size, all good things to consider. And then it did go on and said,
Oh, it did. Look at this.
based on these factors, some of the best pickleball paddles to consider for intermediate or advanced players include, and it gave 4
Oh,
different
my.
paddles. Now, again, I feel like these are a little
Ooh.
outdated.
Yeah.
One of them's a Selkirk. We do sell Selkirks ourselves. So if you're interested in paddles, please let us know. I would not put.
I don't
it's-
like this.
It's the Amped S2
Yeah.
is what's on there. I would not put that at the top of my Selkirk. I play the Invicta
Yeah.
2.0. I do love those. It's the midweight. But it is interesting that had the Selkirk. It said this paddle is made from composite materials and has a midweight design that provides both power and control. It also has a comfortable grip that allows for excellent control over the paddle. I thought that is a good description, and again, the Selkirk Invicta is maybe kind of their next grade up of that. So this again could be a little bit dated.
I was
I'm
going
not
to say,
sure.
this just seems dated.
Yeah. So because the Engage Encore Pro, we know some people who play Engage and love those. Shout out to Ryan Kearns here, who is our local rep for Paddle Tech, the Paddle Tech Tempest Wave Pro, and I think that might be what Ryan actually plays. Here's what it says about the Paddle Tech. This paddle is made from high quality graphite material and has a lightweight design that allows for quick reactions and excellent control. It also has a large sweet spot that helps with accuracy and power. So there you go. There's a little ad for Paddle Techs, and then it has Pro Light Titan Pro. I've actually never played with a Pro Light before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I don't know a whole lot about them, but that also is on the list. Again, I think Pro Light was a little bit more. We do sell those with Pickleball Rocks as well, and so I know that has traditionally been a very popular paddle. I just don't know how much people are playing with Pro Lights now. So then it says, ultimately, the best pickleball paddle for you will depend on your individual playing style and preferences. So it's important to try out different paddles and find the one that works best for you. And if you want to try out paddles,
wouldn't you know?
we have demos. So get in touch with us. We would love to have you try out one of our demos and see what works best for you. All right, let's take one more break because after we come back from the break, the last segment it's a little less about, it's a little more fun, kind of goofy.
I'm excited.
We'll kind of get into that. So one more break and we will be right back. Come join the fun at pickleballrocks.com, your trusted authority when it comes to all your pickleball needs. Apparel, paddles, bags, hats, you name it, you'll find it there. Family owned and operated for nearly 15 years.
Matt and I are growth pros for Pickleball Rocks, and for being a loyal listener of the One More Game podcast, we can offer you a 15% discount at checkout when you use the code MattB15. So head over to pickleballrocks.com and check it out. Let's play.
All right, welcome back to One More Game, presented by Hoosier Pickleball. We are having a fun episode here. We've discovered ChatGPT here in the last few weeks, and so this episode is all about using ChatGPT and AI to help us become better podcasters, better pickleball players, maybe even better parents.
Maybe.
As soon as we get out of here, I think Abby's going to be using ChatGPT to come up with some parenting strategies. So anyways, we're going to move on, and this time I started to get a little silly. I felt like I got all the information I needed, and I was like, okay, what else can ChatGPT do? And again, kind of that educational background, knowing a lot of kids are using this to write papers and stories and things like that. I said to ChatGPT, I said, write a short narrative about a married couple in their mid-40s with 5 daughters who decide to start a pickleball podcast and dreamed of one day playing on the professional pickleball tour. Okay.
This is a long story, though.
It is a short narrative. It's not a novel, but
that's true.
It's several paragraphs. I don't know if we want to read it all, but just for the record, I would not say that we have dreams of playing on the professional pickleball tour, but I thought that would make for a good story. So I'll read at least the first paragraph or so. Meet John and Jane. So
Matt and
Abby. They didn't get our names right, but
it's okay.
Close enough. A happily married couple in their mid-40s with 5 daughters. Jane and John have always had a passion for staying active and trying new things together. They love spending their weekends outdoors and exploring different hobbies. One day, they discovered pickleball, a fun and fast-paced game that quickly became their new obsession. They started playing regularly and soon found themselves talking about the game nonstop. That's when they had an idea to start a podcast about pickleball.
That's hilarious.
This is fairly accurate so far. Despite their busy schedules with work and parenting, Jane and John found the time to record and produce their podcast. They invited guests to talk about different aspects of the game, from technique and strategy to the mental side of playing. They shared their own experiences and insights, hoping to inspire other pickleball enthusiasts to improve their skills and enjoy the game even more. So it goes on to talk about our podcast and how it grew in popularity. I don't want to give away. I mean,
I don't know the ending. What happens?
Right.
What happens to our life?
You know what? They're going to have to get on the show notes and read the end to see, and you will too, I guess. Well, you can read on
Did I
there.
become pro?
Maybe in the second season.
That's hilarious.
A little bit of a cliffhanger at the
Well, I
end.
can't wait to find out, guys.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun.
That's cute.
Then I decided, what was the next one? Oh, I said, compose a poem about pickleball. And I mean, again, I'm just like, this is crazy that you're just asking a computer to just, it's not like a Google search where you just say, what is a poem about pickleball? Like,
Right.
it's composing it. It's using artificial intelligence.
Right.
It's not just finding something that somebody else created. It's creating it.
Can I read this? So
Please do. In your best
I will.
spoken word.
So Liv and I'm homeschooling Liv.
Yeah.
And the unit that she's in is using a lot of poetry. We're
Oh,
doing
love it.
tons of poetry.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of forgot that as a child that you do a lot of poetry in elementary school.
Yeah.
So this is good. In the sunlit court of pickleball, the paddleball swish and balls doth fall. With every serve and every swing, a rhythm, a dance, a song they sing. The game is fast, the action is fierce, as players move with skill and grace. Each point a battle, each shot precise, a contest of wills, a thrilling chase. The court resounds with laughter and cheer as friends and foes engage in play. With every stroke they bond and share, a love of sport, a joy each day. And in the end the victor stands, with a paddle raised, a champion's hand. But win or lose, they know the joy of playing pickleball, their favorite toy.
I love that your reaction.
That's amazing.
I love your reaction at the end because that was my exact same. I was like, holy crap, this is like really good. This is so good. And,
toy.
and then the very end, their favorite toy. What rhymes with joy? Toy.
Toy. Oh, that's great.
But I mean, that's really well done. I would probably change the ending a little bit.
It
Their
rhymes
favorite
though, and it's
toy.
a poem. You can get away with a
Yeah.
lot of things in
Yeah.
poetry.
Yeah. But I thought that was impressive. So much in that poem in terms of like just the joy of competing and the bond that people share.
With laughter and cheer.
Each point a battle, each shot precise. I mean, it's,
That's good stuff.
it
We
is-
should frame it and put it on our
yeah.
wall.
I did after
Put it above our bed.
Yeah, I did then Google pickleball poems to see like did it steal aspects of this or
Right.
how does it come up with something like this? And I didn't see anything. that was
Literally, no
remote.
one has ever written a poem about pickleball
Right.
until this moment.
Right. Well, AI did. So I love it. So then in the realm of a limerick, or in the realm of poems, then I said write a limerick about pickleball and include the words. So I told it like you can give it more specifics.
Okay.
I said include the words dink and kitchen. And so here it is. It says, there once was a game called pickleball with a court not too big, not too small. To get to the kitchen, you need a soft dinkin. I think I was trying to rhyme kitchen and dinkin. Kitchen and dinkin. Or else you'll be the one to take a fall. Which I kind of thought was perfect for me because of our recent video of me
you falling into the kitchen.
Yeah. So to get to the kitchen, you'll need a soft dinkin, or else you'll be the one to take a fall. So
That's really
that
funny.
was a good limerick. But okay, I saved the best for last because this one I think we're gonna need to call on like TikTok. I'm picturing
Okay.
we're gonna put this out on TikTok, and I've
Okay.
seen some people who do this sort of thing. People who are far more talented in the realm of music than I am. And we are going to ask somebody to actually make this into a song. And we're going to
Okay.
see if this catches on.
Okay.
for
Do we
anybody.
put the words out or what?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll put the words out. We'll put the script out for it.
Okay.
And we'll see if somebody picks it up. And then we'll play it. Maybe it'll become
Okay.
our theme song.
This
But-
is our love song about pickleball.
Yeah. So I told ChatGPT, I said, write a love song about pickleball. Now, it gets a little confusing in parts of it, whether or not this person is, oh, golly gracious. Sorry, listeners. You cannot cough
I
into the
forgot.
microphone. Holy cow.
I forgot I was sick, guys.
Yeah. Abby has been under the weather, so she was a trooper to even do this today. But at any rate, Now you're making. Oh gosh, we might have to edit
Sorry,
out.
that was really funny.
Those
I did not mean to do that.
are- okay. So, write a love song about pickleball. Do we want to go through this?
Yeah, this is delightful.
It is. So I was saying.
I'm going to pretend like you're talking to me.
Okay, because like I said, it gets a little confusing. Are we talking about your love of somebody else who plays pickleball, or like your love of the game? It almost gets a little into like personification. I'm a little.
Sometimes
little
love
confused
is confusing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, verse 1. Take it away, Abby.
I never knew a game could make my heart race until I found you on the court with your grace. The sound of the paddle hitting the ball fills me with joy. I can't explain it all.
All right, and then we go right into the chorus.
Right into the chorus. That's
right
quick.
into the chorus, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, pickleball, you're my sweetest addiction. My love for you, it's not just a fiction. Every time I'm on the court with you, my heart beats fast and my love feels true. I can't
That sounds like
sing.
a country song.
Yeah, it does. It has a little country feel to it. All right, verse 2.
From the moment we met, I knew you were the one. With every game, my love for you has just begun. The way you move, the way you play, I can't help but fall for you more each day.
And then back to the chorus. Oh, pickleball, you're my sweetest addiction. My love for you is not just a fiction. Every time I'm on the court with you, my heart beats fast, and my love feels
Yeah,
true.
are we talking to the actual ball?
That's what I'm confused about. At
We
first,
might
I
be
thought it
talking
was
to the
somebody
ball.
that we met on the pickleball court, and then, yeah, so there's some work to be done with this. And then we go into the bridge,
Which is, you're more than just a game to me. You're the passion that sets me free. With every swing, with every hit, I fall for you a little bit.
and back to the chorus. You try the chorus this time.
Oh, pickleball, you're my sweetest addiction. My love for you is not just fiction. Every time I'm on the court with you, my heart beats fast and my love feels true.
Okay, and then take it away with the outro. So let's play a game, just you and me. Our love for pickleball will always be. Together we'll hit the ball, side by side. Our love for each other will never subside.
I mean, yeah, there's just so much love for the court, the ball, the person.
It's all of it.
It's
yeah.
all just loves the whole thing.
Yeah, just loves the
Just
just the
love.
concept. Like, what is pickleball?
What is it?
Whatever you want it to be. It's all of it.
You decide.
Yeah. So I hope that was fun. I enjoyed this episode with all the crazy AI stuff, but
It's
for
so
sure,
funny.
I think we need to put that out on TikTok. See if somebody could. I mean, some people are so talented musically; they would throw something together in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
strum a few little.
That could be our song.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's
Could
not
be
like
our-
we have a great intro song. We had to pick a free one.
Right. So we
So-
could use a very, a very
Could use a cooler
catchy,
song.
Oh, pickleball, you're my sweetest addiction.
You
My
keep making
love
it
for
country.
you. I know.
What if we wanted a little more Limp Bizkit?
Oh, pickleball, you're my sweetest addiction. You got to throw in a few choice words in there as well. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this one up. Anything you want to say you love? You love your bed recently because that's about the only place you've been. Abby, let me say this. Abby, whatever the opposite of a man cold is, a woman cold, that's what Abby always gets. They last like 5 minutes and she's like, I'm better. But this one's kind of
kicked my
knocked you
tail.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was down for the count, but feeling better. So I do want to express my appreciation for Matt and the girls allowing me to rest and sleep for 24 straight hours. They made dinner last night of spaghetti and veggies
Delicious.
and garlic bread. It was really good. So
Yeah.
it was so nice of them that I didn't have to do much work yesterday when I felt like I wanted to die.
Yeah. I was just going to say my health, I would just say I'm thankful for. Man, when you're sick, you just take for granted how good it feels to be
Yeah.
healthy. But sickness, I'm knock on wood. Hopefully I'm not going
Yeah.
to get sick myself. But we've had a little bug floating around the family. We have another one home sick today from school as well.
I know. That's what families do, is share
Yeah.
everything.
So hopefully coming out of this winter season,
Ugh.
spring is coming and hopefully
Mhm.
health improves a little bit. So.
Yeah, that was good. That was a fun episode.
All right. Well, thanks as always to our sponsors, to our listeners, to all of you for all the support and love. We love doing this, and we're going to keep doing it until you stop listening. So thanks as always. We will see you next time on One More Game. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number one, More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.